Is it just a coincidence that you came across this channel? And it was just a coincidence that you learned about the theory of the history of mud flood that was first spread in Russia and the United States, and that the world had actually been reset only about 200 years ago? For example, I personally came to know about the mud flood theory only 4 years ago, around 2020. At first, the videos were so strange that I wondered what these Russians were talking about. This world was wiped out once, only about 200 years ago, by something like a flood, a catastrophe, or a nuclear war. Several Russian influencers have expressed similar thoughts, and many videos have been released about it. Kazan Cathedral and Isaac's Cathedral in Petersburg, both of which I was familiar with, cannot be built by hand. Even with modern technology, it cannot be constructed. The huge ornaments made of stone in the Hermitage Museum are so large that they cannot fit through the doors of the exhibition rooms. And moreover, they were made from huge stones crushed in a Siberian quarry nearly 300 years ago. It was carved out by hand in a local workshop. The huge stone ornaments, weighing several hundred tons, were transported to Petersburg by horse-drawn carriages, boats, and hundreds of laborers. However, such stone crushing, manufacturing, transportation, etc., were all impossible at the level of civilization, which was based on horse-drawn carriages and human power. In fact, even in modern times, it is impossible to reproduce such magnificent stone ornaments using our technology. Not only that, but countless works of art and buildings are said to have been built by hand during the Middle Ages without electricity, a technology that could not have been possible without some kind of machinery or electricity. On the contrary, many of the buildings of the past, which are considered to be at an inferior level of civilization, no matter how you look at them, use technology that is many times higher than the level of modern civilization. This was a fact that was immediately obvious. After all, many of the buildings that are revered as tourist destinations, both in Japan and abroad, are said to have been built hundreds of years ago in a civilization that was inferior to that of the present day. Somehow we never notice the obvious contradiction right before our eyes. Unfortunately, even when these fact-based considerations are pointed out, many people still continue to make assertions that can only be seen as nonsense, such as that mud floods are a hoax. Unfortunately, these people are probably dead in their intelligence, sense, and inspiration. I feel sorry for them. In this world, there are countless people who can act in the wrong way without any hesitation. In that messy world of cobblestones, you all landed on my channel, became interested in the content, and bought into the content. Is this kind of turn of events, this kind of coincidence, just a coincidence? This is no coincidence. It's inevitable. This so-called coincidence or serendipity may be surprising, but it is a fateful, inevitable, and intentional occurrence. It's no coincidence. As you know, great changes are occurring in this world on this earth. It is said that these fluctuations are caused by changes in the earth itself. The entire earth is raising its vibrations as exemplified by the change in frequency of the Schumann resonance. It is said that everything that exists in this world has consciousness. Naturally, this earth also has its own consciousness. It is the vibration of consciousness that rises and falls. The fact that the Schumann resonance and vibration of the entire earth are rising means that the consciousness of the earth itself is rising. It is only natural that the consciousness of the earth will absolutely influence our consciousness as members of the earth. The fact is that the frequency of the Schumann resonance is increasing. And I explained to everyone that the rise of the Schumann resonance means the rise of this earth consciousness. What happens as a result? It means that our consciousness, our vibration, rises. All living beings living on this earth are raising their consciousness and changing their vibrational state to align with the earth that is already raising its consciousness. So over time, even the animals around us are changing their consciousness and seem to be becoming more peaceful, more conscious, and more benevolent. I don't think this is just a coincidence or something that has always been the case. It appears to me that animals have already begun to ascend. A similar phenomenon is occurring in humans. Human beings as individuals are raising their vibrations, becoming better, more creative, more positive. It is thought that humans who have raised their own frequency to match the vibrations of the earth are beginning to acquire abilities they did not have before. This includes the ability to empathize with others, telepathic abilities, precognitive abilities, and in some cases, so-called supernatural abilities that allow one to remotely influence other people or physical phenomena. Without fear of misunderstanding, I, and do myself, have already shown signs of beginning to develop such abilities. These signs and circumstances are clear, so it's no coincidence that you're flocking to this rather unique YouTube channel, subscribing to it, and watching my videos. It is inevitable. There is an intention of some being involved, and it is related to the elevation of the consciousness level of this earth and the ascension beyond that. And you will be influenced by my distribution, and you will have some further influence. It is believed that it is destined to affect this entire earth. This may be a promise from a past life, or it may be a collaboration on a soul level, and it may be a phenomenon that occurs because souls with similar frequency bands are inevitably called together. However, there is no doubt that the fact that you are seeing Endo channel like this is not just an ordinary coincidence. It's inevitable. You could say it's fate. And what you are seeing in your inevitability and destiny is that this world is nothing more than a matrix of illusions created of lies, deceit, and fabrication. And in that fantasy world, you have been exploited by malicious administrators who have misused your power, and your friends and relatives have also been deceived, even to the point of death. The fact is that everything was taken away. A huge part of this system of fabrication, manipulation, and exploitation is that we are being deceived and manipulated with false common sense, knowledge, history, and concepts. Up until now, on this channel, we have been making very detailed and wide-ranging accusations in all areas, especially the lies and fabrications in this world. And you are all souls who came to this channel not by chance, but by necessity. Fate is not a trick, a coincidence, or a purposeless thing, but you have been guided by clear intentions, purposes, and destiny, and have learned the true nature of the lies in this world. If you just take that one point, you're already tapping into that inspiration. Although it is a completely insane realization, this inspiration is the most important ability. Filled in knowledge, vaguely theoretical logic, and argumentative ability that is rooted in countless pieces of evidence, are false abilities that are of no use. This is because if there is ego and malice involved, it is possible to use authority to fabricate as much evidence as you want. And it is not that difficult to assemble logic to suit your favorite conclusion. Even though there is only one truth, it is not difficult to fabricate evidence, use logic, and construct clean arguments to draw the opposite conclusion. And that favorite conclusion can often be manipulated by the power of money and authority. And even in that messed up farce that began in 2020, you must have seen the situation in which countless ordinary people, University of Tokyo, student intellectuals, and serious researchers were deceived. Of course, there are some people who just sold their souls for money and deliberately spread false information. But what is rather strange is that they seriously do not know the truth and completely trust superficial statements. I think everyone is well aware that about 80% of the people came to the wrong conclusion. The characteristics of people who were able to distinguish between truth and lies were not differences in educational background or IQ. In the end, it was a question of whether the inspiration was right or not. And it's not just the events that started in 2020 that are full of lies, fabrications, and illusions, but everything in this world is full of lies and fabrications. So to all of you who have noticed the fabricated incident from 2020, you have reached this channel where you are denouncing the many lies in this world that are about to break even further. You can now be said to be in a state where inspiration is working at a level where you can be called the chosen ones. It is no coincidence that you are viewing this video on this channel. It is destiny itself. And you need to realize that you are a being of inspiration at work. When inspiration works and there is no internal interference or destruction caused by trauma, you can walk through this life itself with the support of a 100% infallible guide. Until now, your guide may have been your school's career counselor, your parents, some kind of consultant, or a famous influencer. Or it might have been an information magazine introducing various schools and job opportunities. Or it might have been your information processing ability to analyze that huge amount of information and find the optimal solution? It may have been macros for analyzing big data from Excel or database software, or statistical analysis ability. However, they are not essentially guides or anything. It is by no means a guide to life, but merely a superficial comparison of information. The strongest guide in your life is your inspiration and your higher self. Those of you who are aware of the lies, fabrications, and farce from 2020 and understand the importance of the information on this channel are clearly at work with that essential inspiration. What you should do from now on is to take time every day to slowly concentrate and feel yourself, and wait for something interesting to happen. If you have an idea, research it, and if it involves taking action, do it without hesitation or fear. Furthermore, you need to trust in your own reflective abilities, inspiration, and creativity when thinking about things in order to find out the truth about them. In this process of reflection and creation, the more you immerse yourself in it, the more you will naturally connect with your higher self, and the more incredible inspiration will come to you as inspiration. At first glance, it may seem like an epiphany from your analytical and reflective abilities, but it is often channeled information from your higher self. And even if such inspirations and considerations are not reasonable from a common sense point of view, you have no choice but to believe in your own inspiration. Then you will have the courage to express that inspiration and put it into action. Only those who have the courage to act according to their inspiration will be able to take action in accordance with the times in this new dimension, in line with Earth's new ascended worldview. By being inspired, letting go of fear, and acting with courage, you will open up a world in a new age on a new Earth. Is it really a coincidence that you have just received this message telling you to believe in your inspiration and take action? Is it inevitable fate? You may have already realized on an individual basis that you may need to act on inspiration. If so, you should be able to feel that this message is an inevitable fate. As an old man who suddenly became an influencer through YouTube, I can share my experience with you. When you follow inspiration and take action into unknown territory, at that moment, you may not be able to see the outcome or the future in particular. It's just that new inspiration, the action you feel you should take, is interesting or the right thing to do. And that inspiration does not guarantee success, and there are no guarantees. However, if you follow your inspiration and take action, your destiny will unfold. And the more you feel inspired and move accordingly, the more new doors will appear and your destiny will move forward. However, in order for your destiny to advance in such a rapid pace, there are certain conditions. Are your decisions, actions, and goals aligned with this Earth's principles? This is the first and most important thing. Why is veganism and low-carbohydrate diets in the spotlight now? And why is it becoming more popular and gaining more and more power every day? Because you all have a faint feeling. This is because Earth rejects the unilateral genocide of animals. Therefore, vegan-related activities are destined to naturally receive support from the Earth. It means it's going to work. And humans, who have acted like God's agents and have done whatever they want, ignoring the dignity of these animals, are finally being asked to respect the dignity of these animals. What this means is that we act as egos, or carnivorous gourmet consciousnesses are forced to contribute to others, even to animals that belong to a different species from the perspective of humanity. We are required to give up and serve others. Yes, your activities do not have to be limited to veganism or vegan carbohydrate restriction, but your main purpose must be to give up your ego and contribute to others. That means it's not some sinister purpose like wanting to get rich, famous, or popular. How can I contribute to my fellow beings and other beings on this earth? When you seriously carry out such actions with this kind of consciousness, the right inspiration will come to you. The door will be opened to guide you, and you will step into a new world. If you continue to take these actions, you will no longer have to live a pointless life of living your life in a boring office job, living in a boring company, or facing unreasonable demands, but will live your life to the fullest. In order to maintain money and a stable lifestyle, you no longer have to live a life filled with complaints, listening to your abusive husband, or taking care of a spouse with completely different values. Just be conscious of contributing to others, Unleash your inspiration and do only what you love, and your future will open up naturally and you will build a new dimension of life on a new earth. The key is to feel inspired and have the courage to act on that inspiration. By doing so, just like Endo on this channel, who you are watching will quit his unpleasant corporate job, do only the speech activities that he likes, and travel around the world. Even the living environment where I can live freely is suddenly set up. And along the way, I was able to rack up almost incomprehensible romantic work and contributions to humanity, exposing one unexpected lie after another in history. Of course, the future that you open up through inspiration will be completely different from mine. However, this new path in your life must have something to do with the concepts you thought about and imagined when you were a child, but which you forgot and threw away one after another as you became an adult. Just by following your inspiration and continuing to do work that contributes to this world, you will experience wonderful and loving work and encounters that are destined for you, and you will blossom into an exciting reality just like a game or movie. It should be. So starting today, please take some time to relax and focus on yourself and listen to the messages from the stars. Then, when inspiration appears, have the courage to surrender to that inspiration and take action. I have told you many times on this channel how to have that inspiration and how to have courage. But if you are not sure about it, please click the link in the summary section of this video. If you register as a friend, Endo will support you in any way I can, so please send him a message. But this is only for the Japanese audience. For those who are determined to lead a life according to their destiny by becoming vegan, restricting their sugar intake, and taking notes on resolving trauma, we invite them to the Endo Online Salon, where we create a community where just such people gather. I would love for you to become a member. Well, today's video ends with Kazumi's vegan song, Mukuro. After the premiere, there will be another 45-minute Nico Nico Live, followed by an online group talk exclusive to the online salon. By the way, today's Endo is broadcast from Moscow.
Kaze 潮とムクロの波今私の間をすり抜けては嘆くうつろな瞳並ぶ鉄格子の国傲慢と裏切りを諦めで潰した愛と綺麗に飾ってどれだけの命詰めばやがて気づくのでしょうか血みどろの叫びすらも檻の向こうに隠して砕いてちぎって罪深き人の闇果て知らぬ欲は自己矛盾の声さえ雑音と捉える冷酷な作業のようにどれだけの涙飲めば世界は変わるのでしょうかほんのひとさじだけの甘さに でしょう